the people's main event, what us casuals were looking forward to, what ultimately delivered and went as expected, in my opinion. Maybe not with the fashion that it ended, although he does have that in his repertoire, and that might be the one thing that Chandler does not have, which is, who said I can't do jujitsu?
Exactly.
Dustin
The
Poirier, black belt. Come on. Islam said you're just giving guys black belts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got it for a reason. I'm credentialed, whether you think I am or not. And that is the diamond, Mr. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. Went down, took my man out in the third round, rear naked choke, right?
Was it? It was
I think it was.
I cannot remember.
Whatever it was a submission. And that first round was for the ages. Bro, I'm talking about they're fighting. I'm thinking this might be the time that Dustin gets knocked out. I had hope in my boy, but he was looking a little shaky. He was looking a little shaky, but as he said, Chandler kind of just comes in wild. He's not really refined, which kind of shows the difference between maybe a Bellator type of guy versus someone in the UFC. But my man Poirier rebounded. I'm talking about nothing but boards, just boom, boom. Hey, Izzy, almost in five more seconds in the first round, we might not be having the discussion we're about to have. But
exactly.
5 more seconds in this round, we might not be having this discussion either, because that boy Chandler was wobbling, went back to his corner and just dropped down to in a squat position.
Yep.
And then, of course, the second round, you know what I mean? Chandler did his thing, got that round for sure. Don't know who won the first one. I just rewatched it. It could go either way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the takedown is the difference. But then third, Dustin left it for no interpretation, and that was a gory fight, kind of similar to how I said the Gaethje and Chandler fight. And I mean, my man's tough, but it was, there's some stuff going on that Dustin didn't necessarily like. Now, it might be a theme now. Dustin calling these guys dirty, but hey, if you stick your finger in my mouth, bro, and it's bloody, and you blow your nose on my face, bro. Hey, there might have been respect before, but hey, there's no love lost after. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
No, I agree with the first round, bro. I have no idea who won. And I really want to know who won that first round, so I can have that in my analysis book going forward, because if we go to a decision, bro, that who knows?
Is it possible for a round to be tied?
It's a 10 round. It's a 10-9 must, or you have to. Somebody has to.
Has to win the round. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know, but if a round could be tied, it was that one. And Dustin said at the end, he thought he was more durable than he thought he would. So he thought he could get him out of there. And he said if he had a little bit more time, he would have got him out of there. But he thought he would be able to just get him out of there like that. I remember I texted you before the fight, hey, have you watched Hooker versus Poirier? Because right before the fight, I just had that feeling this is going to be that one. I know going into the fight, I was like Gaethje Chandler, but then I'm like, no, that Hooker Poirier was one of them where they were both up against the fence, swinging on each other, fuck it. Gaethje and Chandler, they were just brawling wherever, but bro. And as soon as they went against that cage, and Chandler was just hooking, and Poirier was it looked like he knew they were coming. He was trying to roll with them, dodge them, but no, he was getting caught, bro. So that first round was literally great.
He was throwing them full force too. It was boom, boom, boom. But y'all got a fire alarm going off or what?
Oh, what's going on? People don't know how to cook in here. We just not in here though, right? just not in here. Like, look, here's what we're gonna do right here. You take over.
Oh man. So my biggest takeaway, well, I guess let me clarify. Yes, that fight was not necessarily Gaethje and Chandler, because from what I remember of that fight, it was just domination, and then you had a crazy bad guy who just wouldn't be put away in Chandler. But there was no back and forth really. It was just fourth, and one person's taking it. But my biggest takeaway from that first round, aside from it being amazing, was I think, at least from my eye, it looked like Poirier might have had a little bit of ring rust because he wasn't in there as much as he normally is. And for him to get caught the way he did, I mean, I'm not to say that he hasn't been caught before, right? Connor's caught him a few times. Don't remember. Gaethje definitely caught him a few times. So it sounds like Hooker did too. So it's not to say that he hasn't been caught. I just don't think that Chandler, in his skill set and kind of the way he fights, to me, he's a little unrefined. Like, he's a better wrestler than he is anything else. I don't think that the way Dustin got caught was from anything other than he hasn't been in the ring for a long time. And for someone like him, he's used to fighting a lot, and he's been wanting to fight. And then Clear, like, it seemed like that Russ got knocked up. Like, hey, it seemed like Chandler hit him with that WD-40, and then he he woke all the way up and started banging.
Yep. Bro. I think that classic. Actually instant
classic.
Instant. And I think Poirier made a point that said basically the 3 rounds made it more stressful versus the 5 rounds, even though this was kind of supposed to be a war. You know, you don't want to go that long with that, but he was basically like, in a 5-round fight, you get more time to fill your opponent out. You get more time to figure out what you're gonna do. It's like, round 1, who knows who got it? Chandler won round 2. Like, I have to win round 3, or it's over with. And he goes out there, and you're right, it was a rear naked choke, I'm pretty sure, and puts it away. That the second round is what has me worried about. Like, this is the problem with these guys, is because, like, Poirier going forward, you get caught in the same position that you lose to Oliveira in, that you lose to Khabib in, and you get caught in the same position against Chandler. And it's kind of like, okay, Chandler doesn't put you away, but how do you get better and not get stuck in these positions? Because if you get in that position with Islam, it's not like there is no third round. It's over right there.
Yeah.
So, like, how do we get out of being like, I hate when I see that type of stuff. It's like, dang, bro, because if another person gets you there, it's over with. So, like, yeah, that was the only, at the end of that second round, I was like, I still had faith, because I think Poirier is the better fighter. He does have the jiu-jitsu. The wrestling is good when you can, like, insert your will on somebody and make sure that they can't get up, or you take it to where you want to take it, and then you utilize either ground and pound or jiu-jitsu to finish it off. But just being a flat-out wrestler versus somebody who's, like, as well-rounded as Poirier, I didn't think that would be enough to get it done. So I had Poirier winning that. And after the first round, I seen the scrap. Then after, because Poirier is not somebody who's just going. Chandler has that. If I'm starting to get beat up, I may do some crazy shit, like walk forward, like not cover up, maybe swing out of nowhere. No, Poirier is like, he's really boxing with you in there. Like, okay, you hit me, now I'm trying to hit you back. Like, and when I hit you back, one thing I love about him is, if I hit you back, I'm gonna let you know this is payback. I got you. Yeah. And he is throwing nukes, bro. So yeah, I that fight, bro, it was great. It had everything.
Yeah. What would you like to see next for Poirier and Chandler? Because I know Chandler after the fight, of course, as you must do, especially as the loser in that type of fight. He has for McGregor.
Right.
So yeah, what are you thinking about their futures?
Actually, for Chandler, I am not opposed to McGregor because Chandler is a very for me, for McGregor, I want him to come back, fight a couple of guys, and then work his way back up because I don't think he's done. I still think he has he's still special. He has everything in him. So I don't want him to come back and fight one of the top guys like a Dustin Poirier who's fighting 3 times a year and you get him and then he puts you out. Like I want him to kind of work back. So for McGregor, whether it's 155 or 170, that depends on the opponent. But for him, somebody like a Chandler or somebody like a Tony Ferguson as a comeback fight. Not necessarily because Ferguson and McGregor would be a good fight, but more like a tune-up for McGregor. But I'm not opposed to Chandler versus Conor. Chandler's very beatable. It's not like he's just a world beater. So, and his wrestling could affect McGregor as well. Like that could go either way. Now, as it pertains to Dustin, I don't know. I want him to fight anybody. He could fight anybody. Maybe another fight with Hooker. I don't necessarily want him to go straight into the title picture again. I want him to fight some more too. One thing that they said that made sense was Dariush versus Poirier. And I'm just at the point where I don't want Dariush to fight no more. I want him to wait for the title shot. He's the only person in the UFC that deserves to sit and wait for a title shot. He's literally been hoed too many times. He needs a title shot.
It's a slippery situation with that because Khabib was actually the one that tweeted. Khabib tweeted and said, who was the main card, the main people in the fight? Is it
Adesanya?
Oh, Adesanya. Yeah, he's the one that said Dariush and Poirier underneath that. So I don't know.
Wait, at which? Oh, you're talking about in Perth. Are you talking about this card or are you talking about
another card? It's another
Islam card. Islam, Alex. Yes, in Perth, Benil and Dustin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's kind of interesting to see how much influence Khabib may or may not have when it comes to kind of navigating things. Because remember, he is a champion, so he knows how to navigate that. He might know how to throw together some fight cards.
Never lost the belt.
Never lost.
And he's a promoter.
So he might be on to something, but Dariush, as you've been saying, might not want to do that for obvious reasons. And then speaking of Khabib Nurmagomedov, he said that Izzy doesn't feel like he gets the credit he deserves. And if he defends the title a couple more times, he will be on the same level with John Jones. First and foremost, we love to see someone like Khabib giving love to John Jones, especially when sometimes John can have a certain insecurity or sensitivity, if you will, to when Khabib gets brought up in those type of discussions. So it's cool to see Khabib give respect on his end when he could be petty if he wanted. And second, that was before the fight. We know how the fight played out. So without further ado, man, UFC 281, the main event, Israel Adesanya defending his belt against Alex Pereira. What were your thoughts, man? I give you some roses, give you some my condolences. Thanks for watching Certified Jesters. If you like the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this.
And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a post.